All right, Sunday morning yoga on your back, on a block. Virginia has a new block. So lift up your hips, put the block underneath you on its lowest height. And just let your body surrender and sink down onto the block. And let go of any tension, physical, emotional, or otherwise. Let your legs bend the knees, but keep them outstretched a little bit. So they're not straight out and they're not directly under your hips right here. Or your heels are not under your knees, I should say. Let your arms come down by your side with your palms facing up and just start to breathe the wider spaces across the body, up and down, side to side. And just, come into your stillness on your mat. Make this next 60 minutes for you. So be present on your mat. Don't worry about what might come next or what happened before. Stay in this moment. On this next inhaling breath, walk your feet back a little bit closer and then send the right leg in the air. Flex and point. Don't hold on to it. Just roll through the ankle, make circles, flex point. And allow your hips, and the right hip will drop a little bit lower possibly than the left. So allow the hips just to drop onto the block, and just allow your leg a few moments of stillness up in the air. And on this next inhaling breath, draw the leg a little closer to your face. If your hips start to lift off the block, then don't go any further than that. Inhale. And exhale, bring your right ankle above your left knee, open up the knee to the side. Again, no hands right now, just use the weight of your leg and gravity, opening up the inner aspect of that left leg. Push the heel a little bit more towards the thigh to just release, get a little bit more strength. And inhale, come back to center with your leg to the center and straight up in the air, and let it come down to the earth. Then the knee, place the foot on the floor, and then take the left leg in the air, flex point, roll through the ankles. And feel the heaviness of your hips towards the floor of the block. And again, the left hip might lift a little bit more. There might be more sinking into the right hip. Inhale, bend the knee, cross the ankle. Again, not holding on, just using the weight of your leg and gravity. Inhale, return the left leg to the sky and float it down. Inhale, stretch your right knee to your chest. Now hold on with your hands at your shin and stretch your left leg out a little bit longer. If that feels too much, keep the knee bent. Drawing the knee to the outer right side of your ribs. Breathe in, let it go. Exhale, bring it closer. You can relax the left leg. It doesn't have to be doing anything very active right now. Couple of breaths. So as you inhale, you relax the leg. As you exhale, you draw it a little bit closer, a little bit more compression into the hip. Last one, inhale. Exhale, release the leg. Bend the knee to start. Left leg comes into the chest. Hold on to the shin and see if you want to straighten the right leg out. And again, bringing the left leg on the outer left side of the rib cage. Inhale, relax the leg, and exhale, draw it closer. The right leg is relaxed, knee can be bent, the feet could be open, splayed, or neutral, whatever, kind of just goes with your body today. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Empty the breath, bend both knees onto the floor, feet on the floor, and then stretch the legs out in front of you if it feels accessible to you. Stretch your arms overhead. Hook your thumbs together and reach in two different directions, belly and ribs down. Stretch all the way from the center of your body in two directions. Breathe in, breathe out. Soften your glutes, let them just rest against the block. Take full breaths, find the biggest expanse of your body here. Exhale, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, release your arms. Inhale, lift your hips up, remove the block, move it over to the side. Articulate your spine down, then hug both knees up to your chest. Rock on your spine, make circles. And reverse the circles. Come back to center, hold on to the tops of the foot or the shin. Lift your head and shoulders up and begin to make some rocking motions up and down until you can come into a comfortable seated position, and then roll right up on top to your hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, tuck your toes, dip your belly, arch your back into your cow pose. Dip your belly, broaden the collarbones, stretch the arms long. Exhale, round and curl, chin to chest, head hangs down. Inhale, arch your back, dip your belly, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round and curl. And now just move your hips, come to neutral. Move your hips from side to side. And just make like a semicircle, like a half a hula. And then take it into a full hula. And if this feels good to go deeper, then start to move through your shoulders, hips, knees. Reverse. Come back to the center. Inhale, shift your hips forward, arch your back. So a modified upward dog or cobra. Push back to your heels for child's pose. Go back and forth a few times. Just drop the hips, lift the shoulders. Legs are wide. They can stay as wide as you'd like them to be. Shoulders down, away from the ears. And one more time, come forward. Pause in the forward. Look over your right shoulder, look to your left heel. Inhale, come back to center, look over your left shoulder towards your right heel. Inhale to center, lift your chest, push back to your heels. Sit all the way back. Put a block under your hips if it feels like it's too much pressure on your knees. And then stretch your arms out in front of you, push your hips all the way back to your heels. Inhale. Walk over to the right side, exhale, left hand on top of the right arm and push back. Inhale, rise up, walk over to the other side. Inhale, return back to center. Exhale, push a little bit further back into your heels. Inhale, rise up to your hands and knees one more time. Step your right foot back behind you, tuck the toes underneath you. Lift your left heel towards your buttocks, flex and point, and then just kick the heel towards the buttocks, so just pull it in. A little bit of stretch into your hamstrings, or a little bit of power into your hamstrings. Release the left foot, lift the right leg up, bring the knee into the chest, round and curl, and then send the right leg on the outside of your right hand. So both hands on the inside. You can have your hands on the blocks. And we're just going to rock forward and back a little bit. Not even a full hamstring thing here, but just moving a little bit into the hips, dropping down. And then let's settle down into this position. Dropping into your low lunge. Take your right hand on top of your right thigh. Left hand again on the floor of the block. Rotate your torso to the right side. Press your left hip down, reach your right arm forward, thumb up. Inhale, lift the arm up, stretch it all the way back to the back of the room, and then bring it back around, exhale. Tap the hand on the inside of the thigh. Inhale, stretch the arm out in front of you, up and over behind you. Exhale. Inhale, bring it back up and around. Exhale, one more time. Inhale, lift up. Reach back, open up your chest, shoulders. Exhale, bring the arm back down. And now go ahead and straighten your front leg. Walk your hands back, hands on blocks. Lift your toes or keep them down. Pull the right hip back towards the midline, left hip towards the center as well. So we hug our hips close to the center, breathe in and out. One more breath. Not hanging out too long right now. Bring your leg back into a bent position, tuck your left toes underneath you, lift the left knee up off the floor. Keep your hips nice and low. Take a breath in. I have to laugh when I hear this song because somebody once, if you listen to the words, it's father of mine for those at home and not listening. Somebody asked me if they could use it for their daughter's bat mitzvah, and I said, yes, she'll listen to the words. It's kind of listen. So anyway, let's turn to our left side. Turn yourself into a wide stance. Adjust your feet so they're parallel to each other. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, it's just about a father that left. Head down towards the floor. Shake out your neck, yes and no. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Walk your hands out to a wide arm, wide leg, kind of like a downward facing dog in a wide stance. So make sure your knees are softly bent. Weight a little bit forward towards the balls of the feet, biceps by the ears. Firm up your upper arms, spiral the shoulders open slightly. One more breath. Exhale, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Turn around to the right side of the room, back to the front of the room. Low lunge once again. Nice and low, hips stay low, right thigh stays as close to parallel to the floor as you can. And then step the right leg back and just hold a plank. Take the knees down if you need to. There's always that option. Good. Hands are right under the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, lift your hips in the air. Downward facing dog and bend this first one. Bend all of them if you like, as I do. Breathe into your spaces across the rib cage and again spiral the upper arms outward. Push more weight towards the heels of your feet rather than your hands. Let your head hang down. Inhale. And then exhale, come back to your high plank position. Pause and plank. This is where you build strength. Lower your right knee underneath you. Kick the heel to the buttocks. Left toes are staying on the floor. Firming up the left leg. Right leg kicks back. Feel your hamstrings activate. Not always the happiest place. One more breath. Lower your leg and then step or lift your left leg up off the floor and step it on the outside of your left hand. Snuggle the right leg back. Use your blocks anywhere you'd like. Drop your hips down. We're just making little bitty movements forward and back. Not even our full hamstring stretch. And then let's fold down again. Hold it here. Good. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Broaden your collarbones. Put a smile on your face. Inhale, stretch your left arm forward, thumb up. Inhale, lift it up and circle it back around. Exhale. And then inhale, bring it back around. Touch the inside of the thigh or the floor. Exhale. Inhale, left arm up. Open it up and back. Reach. Exhale, bring it back in. Inhale, lift it up. Stretch it all the way up and back. Exhale, bring it all the way back in. Inhale. Tuck your, let's straighten the leg. Fold over it. Toes up or down, hands walk back further if you'd like, even on the blocks. Pull your left hip back, heart pulls forward. One more big healthy breath. Exhale, rebend your front knee, tuck your right toes under, stay low, low, low on the knee, on the floor. And then turn to your right side, adjust your feet so they're parallel to each other. So you might have to move the left foot a little bit more forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, walk your hands out in front of you, and then push your weight back towards your heels, biceps by the ears, knees are slightly bent. Good, so when I say push the weight back to the heels, the knees must be bent, right? You don't want to pull the knees backwards, so shift a little bit more weight towards the balls of your feet here. One more breath. Inhale, look forward, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Exhale, turn to face the front of the room, left leg bends, right leg is straight. Plant your palms to the floor, choose to be on your knees, step back to a high plank position. Strong legs, push away from the floor. Inhale, without moving your hands, lift your hips in the air. Downward facing dog, and you can bend your knees. Excuse me. Inhale, walk your hands back to your feet, come to the back of your mat, come into a standing forward fold. Bend your knees a lot and shift the weight to the heels like you're sitting in a chair. We're not into too deep of a squat yet, or a child's pose, a chair pose, excuse me. And then hover your fingertips from the floor and then bring the arms out to the side. Sit your weight back a little bit more now. Sink your weight so you can see your toes. Bring your arms in front of you, biceps by your ears. Palms face each other. Push down, lift your torso, drop your seat a little bit higher in your torso. If your arms don't go by your ears, that's okay. Bring them towards your face and out in front of you. Sink back a little bit deeper. Exhale. Press down to rise up. Inhale. Bring the arms all the way back behind your back. Exhale. Palms together, knuckles down, lift your heart up. Exhale, soften the knees and forward fold over your legs. Hang your head down. Shake out your neck, yes and no. And breathe. Good. Release your arms to your back, chin to chest, roll up this time. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, float the arms down. Switch the cross of your fingers, one other finger on top, or the pinky, knuckle down, lift your heart up. Exhale, fold over. Start your forward folds with bent knees. Then when you get down, you decide if it's appropriate to straighten the legs. Hang your head down. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Release your hands down, out in front of you, palms on the floor, so your knees are probably bent for most of us. Inhale, come onto your fingertips, begin to straighten your legs a little bit more. Notice mine are always bent. Walk your hands out, one handprint, pause. That's P-A-U-S-E, but you can say pause. Our paws of our down dog are on the floor, P-A-W-S. And walk your hands out, another handprint. More pause. And then walk out another handprint and another handprint, all until you find your downward facing dog. And again, knees can be soft anytime you need it. Just push the weight back away from your hands towards your feet. Good. Walk your feet to touch the back of the mat. Inhale, float your right leg high in the sky. And lift your left heel off the floor nice and high so you get a little bit more lift in the right leg. Exhale, bring the knee to the chest, come forward, plank pose. Kick the heel to the butt, it's like we did a few moments ago on our knee. And then inhale, lift the leg up, three-legged. Exhale, knee to chest, rounded curl, kick the heel to the buttocks. Inhale, kick it back up. Exhale, bring the knee to the chest. Shift forward, right leg in between your two hands now, one arm on each side. Have your blocks nearby if you like to. Put your hands on the blocks. Make sure your right foot is over to the right enough that you're not on a tightrope. Good. And now keep your left hand down. Reach your right arm forward. Lift the right arm up and back like we did a few moments ago. When you go back here, keep your right hip hugging into the center. Don't let it shift off. Exhale, bring the arm back down. Touch on the inside for a breath. Inhale, lift up and open. Exhale, reach all the way back. Inhale, lift up and down. Now exhale, bring your arm up and back. Lift your torso up. Turn to the right side. With your torso, hug your hips to center. Pull back more with your right arm than your left arm. Back knee can be bent. It can even be on the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand down, right arm up. Breathe. Again, keep hugging the right hip to the midline. Don't let it come out to the side. One more breath. Exhale, lower your right hand down. Inhale, straighten your front leg, toes up. Pull the right hip back and the left hip forward. Move the blocks further back and higher up if you choose to. Find length in your spine and then fold over it. See, aren't the blocks nice, Virginia? It's nice to have them. Inhale, rebend your front knee, plant your hands back to the floor of the blocks. Step your right leg back to meet your left leg into high plank. Shift forward, bend your elbows, go halfway down or go to your knees, and then roll through onto the tops of your toes. That's it, beautiful. Hips up in the air, breathe in. Bring your feet together. Inhale high on your toes, left leg lifts all the way up. Exhale, knee to chest, come forward, kick the heel to the buttocks, round and curl your spine. Inhale, kick it straight up. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, kick it straight up. Exhale, round and curl. Step your left foot through between your two hands. Place your hands on the floor or the blocks. Good. Lower your hips, firm up your back leg, or place the knee on the floor. Inhale, stretch your left arm forward. Circle it around, hug the left hip into the midline. Exhale. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, touch it to the inside of your leg. Inhale, reach it out and up. Reach it all the way back. Exhale. Inhale, take the arm down on the inside. Exhale, open it up. This time we're going to stay back here. Float your right arm off the floor. And then take your arms out wide. As wide as they'll go. As much as you can rotate your torso to the left side. Water wheel, good. Now pull your left arm back, everybody. And sit a little bit more upright. Back knee can be as bent as you'd like. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, reach forward. Right hand down. Left arm up. Twist. Hug the hips to center. Lift the belly away from the thighs. Find as much space as you can gather up. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Release your left hand down. Straighten your front leg, toes up. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward. Breathe in, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. One more breath. Inhale, rebend your left knee. Exhale, step back to a high plank and pause in your plank. Adjust yourself. Shoulders just slightly forward of the wrist. Choose to be on your knees or go down halfway with your legs straight. Roll through on your tops of your toes. Very nice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. Rise up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees. Look forward, take yourselves to the top of the mat. Halfway lift when you arrive. Exhale, forward fold. Push down firmly through your feet. Inhale, rise up, stretch the arms with you overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Mountain pose for the breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take your hands onto your hips. Inhale. Exhale, step your right foot wide apart. If that turns you away from the camera, you can take the other foot if it makes you feel better. So if you have a block, if you have two blocks, put one behind each foot actually. So keep one behind each foot. If you only have one block, bring it to the back of the right foot. So your toes again are parallel, or your feet are parallel to each other. Stretch your arms out shoulder height, and shoulder height should actually have your hands land over your ankles. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees and hinge forward. Good. Take your hands, left hand under the right, under the center, right arm up. Hug your hips in. Inhale, release the right arm down. Exhale, left arm up. Hug your hips in. It's hard, but pull your left hip back towards the center. So we're not going to get as much rotation as you probably would like if you moved your hips. Exhale down. Inhale, bend bring both arms out to the side. So find some really strong core here. Bend your knees a little bit more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, open your arms to a T. So we're back in that same position. Right toes turn to the right. Left toes turn slightly to the right. Now, left hip is higher than right, so right now just put your hands on your pelvis and level out your hips so your hip points will point to the left side of your now left side. Straighten up the legs, and let's move the leg in today a little bit closer. Bump your hips now as you reach your torso to the front of the mat, which is now the back of the mat is the front of the mat. Take your hand on the block or on your shin. I like the block on its highest height outside my right shin. If you can reach your toes, great. Make sure that you're not collapsing through your right side body. Tuck your tailbone underneath you. Lift your heart up. Breathe in, reach in two directions. Squeeze your heels to each other. Open your outer thighs away from each other. Inhale, stretch your arm back, up, and over your head. Palm down. Then spin the thumb up and spin the torso up. So really strong. You should have very little, if any, weight in your right hand. It's just a little, visual and support, but not a whole lot of support where you're dumping into it. Press firmly down into your right leg, look down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to hips, turn your right toes forward. Turn your left toes to the left side. Now we've shortened our stance, we're gonna stay short. Turn your right toes slightly in, put your hands, or keep your hands on your hips and level out your hips to start. Then bring your arms up, shoulder height, inhale. Exhale, bump your hips right, move your torso left. Reach as far as you can. You can put your hand on the shin, thigh, block outside the left thigh, a left shin. Right arm comes up and stacks. So think about this side of your body, the bottom side of your body, your left side of your body, lifting up and in. And then think about your left arm. If you pick it up, nothing changes in your body shape. Inhale, take your right arm back, sweep it up and over your head, palm down. Then spin the thumb open a little bit as you spin the torso open a little bit. Firm up your legs, like you're being pulled with your right arm. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Good, look down, inhale, rise up. Turn your left toes to the front, hands on your hips, inhale. Exhale, forward fold, soften your knees. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Take one of your blocks just quickly in front of you. Inhale, lengthen your spine, right arm comes up. Hug your hips in, remember we have a shorter stance here. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, bring it up. The block will help. Exhale, release. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Take the block back behind your right foot. Hands to hips, rise up. Open your arms shoulder height. Turn your left toes to the right. Turn your right toes all the way to the right. Now bump your hip back. Take the triangle pose again. Let's work with the block today if you have one. So if you have the block today, keep it underneath your right arm. Put your left hand on your right hip. Left hip. Bend your right knee. Take your block on any height out in front of your right foot, right where your shoulder's going to be on top of your wrist. Now float up. Give yourself the lift of the block being underneath you as you come into your half moon today. And again, it can be on any height. So I know, most of you put your hand on the floor so you can get there. But now see how that feels to lift the right side of your body up a little bit more. Inhale. Left arm up, spin your heart open. Let's see how that looks. Inhale. Good. So it might feel a little bit more inclusive. And you're balancing, beautiful, nice work. So now if your left arm is up, let's bring the left arm back down onto the left hip. Bend your right knee. Step back a further stance. Bring your right hand on the outside of your right foot on the block. Left arm comes up over your shoulders. Get yourself into a nice stance that your right thigh is parallel to the floor. Inhale, send your left arm back and around. Palm down, spin the thumb open, spin the heart open. Firm up both legs. Take some weight out of your right arm, so you're using your right side body, your glutes, but the arm is just balanced, just balance. Find a little bit more. Look down at your right toes. Inhale, come up all the way, leave the block down, stretch your right leg and turn your toes center. Turn your left toes to the front. Move your hips to the right. Triangle pose with your block underneath your left hand on its highest height now. You can choose to change that up as you move on. Good. Inhale, put your hand on your hip, look down. Take the block with you on any height to the outside of the left foot, underneath your shoulder. Spin your heart open. Right arm floats up. Flex your right foot. Find space underneath your body. Take your right arm back and over your head. Palm down. Spin the thumb up, rotate your heart open. Find firmness in your left standing leg. Find firmness in your right extended leg. One more breath. Hand to your hip, look down. Exhale, take a wider stance back. Bend your left knee, put your hand on the block outside the ankle. Right arm up to start. Work on opening the torso, same poses, right? Just different positions of the legs. Right arm sweeps back and around. Palm down. Then as you spin the thumb open, rotate the torso open. Firm up both legs. Reach like I'm pulling your right arm out in front of you. Good, look down, inhale, rise up, turn yourself to face the side of your mat. Exhale, forward fold, take the block in the center, any block, back into the center, we're back into our wide stance. Walk your block out about an arm's length. Shift your hips just a little bit forward again, so soft knees. Inhale, right arm up in the air, hug your hips to center. Exhale, take your right arm underneath your left, to your left ankle, and look under your arm. Now, try to draw the hips to the center here. Try to keep hugging the hips to center. So instead of just leaning mostly in towards that left hip, right? Breathe in, breathe out. Hug your hips. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Walk your arms out. Exhale, fold. Right hand stays, left arm opens up, twist. Exhale, take the left arm underneath. Grab a hold of the outside of the right hip. Look under your right arm. Hug your hips to the center point, twist. Find your space. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, walk the arms a little further out. Soften the knees, biceps by the ears. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Walk your hands back, walk your block back, put it back to the front of the mat. Turn around, face the front of your mat. Take both blocks on either side. Step your left foot back, high plank position. Shift forward, bend your elbows, go to your knees, or just go into downward facing dog. Lift your heart and then hips in the air. Bring your feet together. Inhale, float your right leg high in the sky. Bend your left knee to get a little higher. Exhale, knee to chest. Kick the heel to the buttocks. Step your right foot right underneath your nose. Walk your hands and or blocks back. Walk your right foot a little bit more to the right side. Turn your left foot a little bit onto its side. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Good. Walk your hands forward on the highest block. And if you don't have blocks, put your hands on the floor. Level up, don't dump your hips. Level up your hips. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. So keep a long spine here. Put weight into the right leg. Start to lift your left heel off the floor.
and float your left leg off the floor. Supported warrior 3. So bend your right knee as much as you need to. Lengthen your left leg as much as you need to and can. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep your left hand down. Stretch your right arm in front of you. Hug your hips. Lower your right arm. Inhale, hug your left arm forward. So there might be a tendency to shift your hips to the right a little bit more. Yeah, I know it's tricky. Hug your hip in. Good. Now lower your hand. Step your back foot back again. Square the hips. Inhale. This time, take your hands down and just fold over your leg. Let it go. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Step your feet back to downward facing dog. So adjust your feet. You might have to go a little bit wider. You can walk your dog. And then bring your feet together. Inhale, high on your toes. Left leg is lifted high in the sky. Exhale, left knee to chest, round and curl. Kick the heel to the buttocks. Inhale. Exhale, step your left foot underneath your nose. Take your hands on the blocks. High height. Turn your right toes a little bit towards the right. Inhale, straighten your legs. Lengthen your spine. Pull the right hip forward. You can walk your left leg further, wider, and in depth as well. Head to tailbone long. Inhale. And exhale. Press the big toe, little toe, ball of the foot firmly into the earth. Inhale. Exhale, soften your gaze. And then soften your left knee, float up onto the left leg. Hips are level, so it's not a standing split. It's a supported warrior 3. Maybe the arms come a little bit further in front. Hug your hips down. Strengthen, lengthen the right leg. Inhale, float your left arm forward. Notice what fires up as soon as one arm comes off the floor of the blocks. Exhale, lower the left hand. Inhale, right arm, hug the left hip in. It's tricky, it wants to move. Wants to just accommodate us. Reach in 2 directions, forward and back. Exhale, hand down. Step back. Find a downward facing dog. Lift your hips in the air. Walk your doggy. Inhale, high on your tippy toes. Shift forward to a high plank. Exhale, bend your elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feet together. Inhale, high on your toes. Float your right leg high in the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, round and curl. Shift forward to plank. Kick the heel towards your buttocks. And then step your right foot underneath your face. Walk your hands forward. Lengthen your spine. Lift your back leg off the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Put your left hand on a block. Highest height is great. Right hand right under your shoulders, so it's not too far out in front of you. It's not too close. Right under your shoulders. Hug the right hip in. Bring the right hand to the right hip. So just like we did when we took the hand off the floor, hug the right hip in. Flex the left foot. Begin to rotate your torso. Stack your shoulders. Right arm comes up. Twisted half moon pose. It's a very challenging pose. Don't kid yourself. Nice, Michelle. Good. Yeah. It's just the pose that we need, you know, the ones that we don't like to do are the ones we need the most, right? Spoken for me. One more breath. Good. Now, put your right hand back on your hip, soften your right knee. Step your left foot back that same 2 to 3 feet. Bring the block in, probably on a lower height. Lengthen your spine. I'm keeping it on the inside of the foot today. Rotate your torso, stack your shoulders. Hug your hips, right arm comes up. It's the same pose, but we're grounded now. Doesn't make it easier necessarily. It's just easier in the balance. Open up your chest, shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out. One more big breath. Exhale, fold over your legs. Hang over, chin to chest. Tuck your chin to your chest, round and curl your spine. Inhale, look forward. Plant your hands to the floor. Step into downward facing dog. Bring your feet together. Inhale, float your left leg in the air. Exhale, knee to chest, round and curl. Kick the heel to your buttocks. And then step your left foot underneath your face, underneath your nose. Put your hands on the floor blocks out in front of you. Inhale, float your right leg off the floor. Square your hips. Hug your left hip in. Keep your right hand on a block highest height. Left hand to your hip. Start there, find length. Maybe begin to straighten the left leg. Rotate the torso, stack your shoulders. Left arm opens up, twist. And even maybe your eye gaze goes up. That's the last thing. Find the firmness in the standing leg and find the energy out of the leg that's extended. Take another breath. Make it a little bit bigger. Exhale, put the hand on your hip, bend your left knee. Step back to where you started, a little bit closer, stand 2 to 3 feet. Plant the block on the inside of the left foot. Inhale, twist the torso, continue to rotate. Left arm comes up. Breathe, squeeze, hug. Breathe in and out. One more breath as you find a little bit more space, everybody. Exhale, fold over your left leg. Chin to chest, forehead to knee. Let it go. Inhale, bend your front leg. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift high onto your tippy toes. Exhale, shift to your high plank. Pause in your plank. Exhale, bend your elbows, go halfway down. Inhale, roll over your toes. Lift your heart through. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your knees to the floor. Sit back on your heels. Exhale. Inhale, come back to your hands and knees. Pad your mat if you need to. Have a block nearby if you'd like to use it. I'll show you how. Bring your hands to your hips and rise up onto your shins. If you like to have a block, you can place it somewhere between your 2 feet, about an arm's length away. We can play with that. Why don't we all try that then? If you have a block. Inhale, stretch your right arm up. Exhale, take a hold of your hand on the block. Just put the hand on the block, highest height. Then turn your torso forward. Take your left arm up. Turn your palm towards your face and push your hips forward. And you're not going to get probably exactly squared, right? But lift out of your waistline, push down through your shins. Inhale, come back up. Just sit up tall for a moment. Exhale. Left hand on your left hip. Actually, right hand on your right hip. Inhale, stretch your left arm up. Exhale, take your left hand to the block behind you. Turn your shoulders forward. Inhale, stretch your right arm up, palm over by your facing your face, and push your hips forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Place your hands on your hips. Now, we're going to do both legs, both arms, I should say. So if you want to continue to hold onto your block, turn it around if you need to, and hold onto your block. It will definitely elevate it. Or you can take your toes and tuck them under, reach for your heels. Or if you don't need either, you can just take your hands to your heels. So take a breath in, lift your chest up. Open up like you're against a ball. And then take your hands to the block or the heels, or just keep them on your hips. But once you have a hold of whatever you're holding on to,
Push your hips forward and then lift your heart. Some of you will let your head drop back. That's optional. That's up to you and your neck and your vertigo or whatever you might have going on, right? So make sure that whatever you do, whatever you choose to do is appropriate for you. One more breath. Inhale, bring your hands to your hips, sit up, and then have a seat on your heels. Use the block if you need to. Take one hand on top of the other. Just close your eyes for a few breaths. Good. Inhale, open your eyes. We're going to turn again to one side of the mat, so choose your side, doesn't matter. Stretch your legs into a straddle. Doesn't have to be huge. You can have your knees slightly bent and bring your legs a little bit closer in. Put your hands behind your back and lift your chest up. And for today, just keep your hips kind of neutral. I usually like to open them up a little bit, but let's keep the toes to the face or to the ceiling, or even slightly in, not too much. Good, stay lifted. Inhale, release your hands. Now, if when you release your hands, you go into what I call Shalampasana. Put yourself on a block and shorten your legs, or both, either or both. Bring your hands behind your head, inhale. Exhale, lean over to the right side, arm behind the knee. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, left elbow behind the knee. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lean to the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lean to the left side. Inhale, come back to center. Now, inhale, turn to your right side. Hinge forward. Wherever you're going, keep your left hip grounded. Exhale, release your hands on either side of the leg to the right side. Keep pressing your left hip down on the floor. Rotate your torso around to the right side. Creep your fingertips out. Relax your shoulders down. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, walk your hands back up. Turn to the center, bring your hands behind your head. Exhale, turn to your left side. Hinge forward, keep the right hip grounded. Inhale, reach your arms out on either side of the leg. Bump the right hip down, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, walk it back up. Take your hands behind your head, exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Hinge forward, exhale. Stop in a straight spine. Then release your hands. If your block is nearby, stretch your arms out and put the fingers on the block. If it's not, don't worry about it. Put your hands on the floor. Inhale, lift your block up and move it forward. So all you're going to do is keep creeping yourself forward and forward until you find a maximal place without rounding your back, without going into a turtle shell. Keep bringing and broadening the collarbones. My toes are just, they're either to the ceiling or slightly in. Slightly in is going to give you probably a little bit more space to fold forward, depending on what you need, what you feel, what's going on. You choose to go your own way. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, walk it in. If you have a block, just bring it back in with you. Bend your knees, shake them out, and turn around to face the front of your mat. Sit up far enough that when you go down, your head will be on the mat, not on the floor. Inhale, stretch your arms all the way up overhead. Use a strap or towel. Exhale, reach forward. Again, spine long. Inhale, this time your toes are up. Exhale, fold over your shins. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, let go of your feet here. From here, pull your belly in and round your spine. Relax your shoulders. Tuck your chin to your chest and energize your legs. Inhale, Lower down to the floor, one vertebrae at a time. Really firm up your legs. Pull your belly in. Keep the legs super active. Roll down. Keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. When you get down to the floor, allow your knees to come to your chest. Open up your knees as wide as your hips. Hold on to the outer edges of the feet, big toe or underneath the foot, and rock on your spine. And stay in the center. Good. Take your arms on the outside of your knees. Hug everything close together. Lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. Keep your right knee in your chest. Extend your left leg and hover it over the floor. Hold on to your shin, ankle, bottom of the foot. And then extend the leg straight in the air. Reach your arms up towards your feet. Exhale, lower your head, bend your right knee, lower your left knee. Take your left hand, guide the knee across the body, twist. Inhale, lay on your back, hug your knees to your chest, both of them. Lift your head and shoulders, exhale. Hold on to your shins, your calves, your toes. Hold on to your left leg, extend your right leg. Hover the leg off the floor, anything but your knee on the left leg. Inhale, stretch the leg straight up. Option to reach your arms up. Breathe, lift a little higher. By the exhale, bring your knee to your chest, right leg comes down. Inhale, talk to you later. Exhale, twist across the body. Inhale, return onto your back. Hug both knees to your chest. Take a hold of your foot, shin, ankle. Once again, lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Exhale, extend your legs in the air. Reach your arms to your feet, head and shoulders lift up. Bonus points to lift your hips off the floor. Lift in both directions, take a big breath in. Exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Last spinal twist, both knees. Hips over to the right, knees fold to the left, twist. Inhale, return to center. Move your hips left, let your knees fall to the right, twist. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, big hug of the legs. And now allow your legs to come down to the floor. If you liked it on the block like we started, you're more than welcome to elevate on a block, or even put your blocks under your knees or your arms. Take your arms out to the side and start to surrender your body into the mat, letting go of all physical tension, all mental tension, no thoughts, distractions, sounds, as you work your way into your final Shavasana. Let everything surrender.
invite you to stay as long as you can or want to for the rest of this class, or begin to bring yourself back into the awareness and start to just find a little deeper breath. Start to move your fingers, your toes, wrists, ankles. Just trying to lower it. And just start to bring your awareness back and breathe. For those of you at home, stay home, stay fit, stay healthy.